Although the United States has outlawed DEI, here at the Strong Collectors, we like to work outside the law sometimes. So with that in mind, we put together a Build-A-Figure wave commemorating Black History Month, and we think these could be pretty hot sellers. So let's talk about it. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Strong Collectors Podcast. I'm your host, Dakota, here with my co-host, Jordan. And like I said, today we've put together a Black History Month Build-A-Figure wave. I think a lot of times these Build-A-Figure waves, Jordan, are there's some hits, there's some misses. I think we put together a pretty good wave here. I think I don't know what you picked, but at least what I picked, I would buy everything from my list. So You've got 3 figures, and you did the Build-A-Figure, and then I have 4
Yes.
I have 4 of the figures from the wave. So I think I'll let you start with your 3 figures, and let's save the Build-A-Figure to the end.
So one of mine right off the bat, Dakota, is one that I think we've heard a lot of chatter about in comments that people have been wanting, and this would be a Cardiac.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm stealing one of yours,
No.
but I think he's been a character that people have wanted for a while, and to my knowledge, has never gotten a figure. No? Has he been made?
No, I don't think
I don't
he's
think so.
even in like older Toy Biz stuff. I don't think he ever got
Yeah.
made.
No, I don't think so either. So I think he would be a great figure. I think he could do some cool sculpting. I always thought he looked cool as a kid with that staff, and I'd always like him in my my Spider-Man like visual encyclopedia things, and I don't think they've done a whole ton with him. So maybe that can motivate some more stories with Cardiac. But
True.
I think people would definitely want to snatch him up.
Yeah, I think that's a very toyetic looking character too. Like that looks like it would just be a cool figure.
He just looks cool.
Yeah, that's
So
all I
give
need to
some
know.
Effects on there, get Cardiac in there. I think people will go for that. Another one that I think, this one was actually on my wish list, Dakota, and this would be an Isaiah Bradley. I'm trying to remember if I think that was on my wish list, right? That's not on a leak or anything. I've just dreamed it a lot.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was on your wish list or your
Prediction?
expectations list. Yeah,
Okay.
one of those.
So,
though.
okay. I'm not imagining that it was on a leak. or
One of
something.
those 60, what was that, 72 characters we dreamed
Right,
up.
yeah. Well, it gets blurry when we just dream and somewhat delusional wishing. But, I think Isaiah Bradley would be cool. I think if you haven't read the Truth comic book that they kind of debuted him in was pretty sweet. But I think that look, he's a little bulkier than your typical Captain America, and he's got like the bandana thing, that like silver shield. I think he would look really sweet, and I think he'd be a cool character to have. I always liked his design. So Isaiah Bradley, Captain America.
I've seen some pretty cool customs with him of like, I think they're using the AOA Colossus head as kind of that bandana look.
Yeah.
So I think, you could use those parts right there, and I think that would be a good start.
Yeah, and I think that would be a awesome figure people would go for. Another one that I think needs an update is going to be a Misty Knight.
Yeah.
Because we haven't seen her for quite some time, if I remember.
The Rhino Wave.
Was that? Yeah, and I think she could use an update. I know there's a couple different looks you could go with. I don't really know if there's a particular one that people would want or that they'd go for, because I know she's had several different costumes at different points. So either way, I think that figure definitely needs an update, and I think is one that that would be a good inclusion in the wave.
Yeah, I agree. So you only stole one from my list. I had Isaiah Bradley on my list, but I've got a few extras, so just in case that happened. I'll go classic first. I think it's long overdue that we need a classic Falcon. I'm thinking like the Toy Biz, what was that, Mojo or Modoc Build-A-Figure wave, the red and the white. I think it'd be cool if he came.
The Deep V?
Deep V, baby. I don't know. I love those colors on him. I think having him come with a Red Wing, just like you did with Toy Biz, would be cool too. We've gotten, I think Hasbro's really only ever done more modern looks for Falcon, and I think now with like the MCU, like Falcon now becoming Captain America, I don't know if they're gonna want to go like back to classic Falcon, but I think it'd be really cool. Like like fill out that character's like shelf. So I don't know. That'd be the first classic figure, I think, and I think
Yeah.
I think a lot of people want that too.
I could see that.
Then I'm gonna go a little more selfish. We've had Blue Marvel in his kind of like the Ultimates look. I want the Blue Marvel that kind of looks a little bit more Dr. Fate looking, you know, with like the helmet, the cape.
Okay.
That's what I'm going for. That was kind of my first, like the first comics I read with Blue Marvel. He looked like that. So that's where I would want that look to go, because the other one is fine. It definitely kind of more showcases his more like scientist type of vibe. But I think the other one is a little bit more like comic book
A little
superhero
more
look.
superhero-y.
Yeah,
You want
yeah.
the superhero classic look. Okay.
Yep.
I think that's fair. You know, I'm a sucker for those more classic retro looks, Dakota, so you're speaking my language.
All right, then I think we need to go a little bit more modern. And I think only because I used Storm in our previous episode for Valentine's Day, I do want that modern look for Storm. So that would be cool, but I'm going to leave her off the list just because, you know, she's coming with the Valentine's Day specials. I'm going to put another more modern character. That's going to be Moon Girl. I think this could come maybe with your, like, I don't know what your Build-A-Figure is, but maybe like the torso of it, or, you know, when you have like that smaller character comes with the bigger Build-A-Figure piece. I don't know when we're going to get Devil Dinosaur to go with Moon Girl, but I still think like Moon Girl come with her like roller skates coming, I don't know, with like the satchel would be super easy. Again, I think that's maybe appeals to more of the younger crowd because she's in some like cartoons and different things like that. So
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised they haven't done it yet, but I think it's maybe just because it's on that, like, she's like a smaller, it's not your normal 6-inch Marvel Legends. She would need to be shorter. So it's probably the tooling there, but it's time to break out the stops and give us a Moon Girl.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's always good too when they do that mix of more like modern with classic characters to kind of switch it up. I think they like to do that. So I can see that one.
And then I have one runner-up that I wanted to fit in, but I think this other one is going to edge it out a little bit. So runner-up for me is going to be a classic Shuri.
Oh,
or classic-ish. I want it to be like the one that's already come out in, what was that? There's a 2-pack with Claw.
Claw?
I like that look.
Like as Black Panther?
Right.
Yeah.
I just, that figure is a little too old, single-jointed. They could update that. I don't even need it to be like on the Black Widow body. I think just making it on the Shriek body would be good enough for me. Because I think that's a really cool look for the character. Maybe we do a soft goods cape with it. Not that big a deal to me, but I think that'd be cool just because then you can get her more in the dynamic poses with the cape like actually still draping down instead of like the cape like shooting off at a right angle. So again, that's more of like an update. I don't really want much different than that, just double pinless. So that's why I was like, I don't know if it's really worth keeping in the Build-A-Figure wave. So she got edged out by Rocket Racer. Kind of another Spider-Man character to go along maybe with your Cardiac. Give him the board. I think like similar to Cardiac, I think the colors on him would really pop on a shelf. Like the reds and the yellows. I don't know. I think a lot of people I see, I think that they kind of want those like odd Spider-Man characters. Because a lot of people see what they want. Big Wheel and like all the other characters that I don't even know who they are. But Rocket Racer, I think, is, I don't know if was he ever in the cartoons? Because I feel like I remember him in something.
Maybe. I don't remember him in the cartoon. I guess it's possible.
Yeah.
But okay. I think it is always fun to get those ones that, maybe didn't appear in a whole bunch of stuff, but have fun colors and cool appearances when they do. So
it'd be kind of fun to have.
I've forgotten about the Rocket Racer.
So you got like Rocket Racer with his board, and then you got Moon Girl with her skates. All the modes of transportation in this wave.
Now you're gonna make me want to get my Hypno Hustler finally.
Isn't he on a leaks list or something?
Is he?
I don't know. Maybe that was not. Maybe that was just somebody.
I never know if it's something we've dreamed up or if I had a vision of Hypno Hustler.
Right.
Yeah. He'd be with his big boombox.
Oh yeah, that was a leaks of like some Spider-Man wave. Yeah, I don't know if it was somebody just like messing or not, but
all right.
Yeah.
Well, to be continued in our obscure Spider-Man villains wave. Okay, yeah, I think those are. Wait, is that that's 4, right?
Yep, that's all 4.
Yeah. Okay. So I think between those, Dakota, each one is going to come with a Build-A-Figure piece. You know what I know. I'm going with Bill Foster Goliath for my Build-A-Figure.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, especially to go along
And
with your giant man back there.
that's what I'm saying is I don't think we're going to get a Goliath. The closest we have is of course that Marvel Universe one
Mm-hmm.
for like scale wise. I don't see them going like obviously not a HasLab or like even a Sentinel style made to order, but I think you can make him maybe a little bigger. It's not going to be a huge figure, but it's almost like he's in that mid growing size.
Mm-hmm.
Um, to me, that would make more sense than just making like a 6-inch figure because like when are you going to display Goliath like that? And if you're not
Right.
going to get him giant, I think a Build-A-Figure would be the way to go, and I think he could use an update for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think
Did you have another idea for the Build-A-Figure, or what were you thinking?
I feel like I've seen some folks wanting the like comic version of M'Baku, which I think would be kind of cool.
Okay.
But I think you're probably
Yep.
right on. I think the Bill Foster is probably the more desired, especially because of the HasLab, because then you can have your like varying sizes on your giant man display because there's, like you said, there's the Marvel Universe one, and that one is pretty good. There's the other giant man from the San Diego Comic-Con that's a different look than the HasLab. You've got the Toy Biz. But yeah, I think keeping those coming, because like I've said, I'm surprised they haven't done a Yellow Jacket yet. But I think,
Yeah.
along those lines is still Goliath. So I think that works out pretty well. I would just be curious how big they could make, because I'd want it to be as big as possible. Like I want his leg to be taking up the whole package.
Yeah, I'd almost rather them lean more towards the like, obviously maybe not as big, but like the Toy Biz era. Not that huge, but if we could find a way, maybe, okay, here's the idea. Maybe we build it out more. We go OG Giant Man style. You get part of his leg and then his thigh. Boom, baby. We just got to add a couple more figures.
Right?
Hypno Hustler and OG Blade. I'm going to add him. So that'll give me
There you
some
go.
more parts
Okay.
with his green jacket and stuff.
Yeah. I like it.
There's plenty of more figures you could fill out.
Right. Make it like the Fin Fang Foom where you have 2 waves.
Oh, yeah. Part 1 and part 2.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks. That is our Build-A-Figure wave. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure you're liking, sharing, and subscribing. And until next time, stay strong. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Strong Collectors Podcast. I'm your homeboy, Dakota, here with my homie, Jordan.